Malik Cunningham ran for 6 yards on the first Louisville drive of the game for a touchdown. Their second drive on the field, he threw a touchdown. Their third drive, another one. Fourth drive, you get the point. It wasn't until the 5th-minute mark of the second quarter when Louisville didn't score a touchdown on a drive. And for Syracuse, they found the end zone 0 times in a 41-3 loss to Louisville. Here on Orange Press Pass, we'll get you covered with everything you need to know about this game. OPP's on for 30 minutes, and it all starts right now. Welcome into Orange Press Pass here in the CitrusTV studios. Nick Zelaya alongside Spencer Pierce and Nick Luttrell. And guys, there's a lot to untangle from this one. A 41-3 loss for Louisville against Syracuse, moving Louisville to 5-5, as well as Syracuse, they dropped to 5-5. But starting with you, Spencer, what exactly are your first impressions from this loss?
All right, well, first things first, I feel a little left out not being named Nick, so we can call me Nick Pierce from now on. Just make it a trio. My first thought is that what happened to the basics? You can't tackle anymore. Garrett Schrader can't throw the ball. He can't run the ball. Don't even get me started on special teams. Hint, hint. Probably get me started on special teams a little later in the show. But the defense is like Swiss cheese out there, and none of the basic skills that are used to win a football game were used today at all.
Well, Spencer, I have one word for you guys: disappointing. And that's just the word to define how today's game was for Syracuse. They come into this game, they only need one more win to be bowl eligible and to get into a bowl game. And today they did not do that. Syracuse fans were so hopeful after the win and then a bye week and then coming into today. But after today's loss, it's just disappointing.
It was really disappointing, guys. Thanks, Nick Pierce, for your advice. But yeah, Nick, it was disappointing. I mean, this Syracuse defense made Malik Cunningham look like Lamar Jackson on the field, who had his number retired at halftime. But stop with the chatter. Let's get into the highlights and see what exactly went down in Kentucky. Louisville and Syracuse. Louisville 4-5, 2-4 in conference play. Syracuse 5-4, looking to pick up a third straight win. Again, a special day for Louisville. Lamar Jackson getting number 8 retired by the team. He won 2 ACC Player of the Year awards with in his time. And early on, Malik Cunningham avoiding a Syracuse defender and striding his way into the end zone. 7-0 Louisville. Guys, we need a name for this dance from Cunningham. I was thinking the boat, drive the boat maybe. We'll work on it later. Later in the first quarter anyways, Cunningham in the pocket, an absolute dot. This time, it's a Tyler Harrell 33 yards, making it 14-3 Cardinals. Second quarter now. Play action, boys. Malik Cunningham finds Amari Huggins-Bruce, 21-3. Spencer, things were getting out of hand, and it got worse this time for Mikel Jones.
Well, remember when I said they couldn't do the basic things right? They don't know how to tackle without using the crown of their helmet. That's a CTE employer. Immediately, Mikel Jones gone from the game.
So Mikel Jones, his afternoon would be gone. No more Jones in the Syracuse defense, and Malik Willis, he would continue to do his thing. 3rd and 1, he's got a hand cannon, 41 yards to Jordan Watkins. Perfect placement, 28-3 Louisville, and it's still the first half. 33 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Cunningham drops it off to Huggins-Bruce, and he's untouched. Into the end zone, 2 touchdowns, 56 yards on the day for the freshman. And let's get to the fourth quarter now. Sean Tucker, slow day for him, Nick, only 95 yards on the ground.
Yeah, he really struggled, but you can't blame it on him. O-line didn't help him out at all. This entire Syracuse offense was struggling, so you can't put the blame on 34 in this game.
Tucker, 11 yards shy of breaking that single-season rushing record. He'll have to do it maybe next week against NC State. Syracuse drops to 5-5 on the day, and we'll have to wait for that NC State game to maybe get the 6th win in a bowl spot. But guys, what stands out to you looking at these stats? 41-3. I mean, this was all Cardinals from the start.
I mean, what stands out to me is Garrett Schrader attempted 18 passes throughout the entire game, and you look at Malik Cunningham, also 18 passes, but 2 completely opposite ends of the spectrum.
And I would say 18 passes isn't too abnormal for Garrett Schrader, but maybe Sean Tucker, you can get those carries up a little bit more to get him some more rushing yards. But again, just not a good day for Syracuse.
It'll definitely be a game that Dino Babers and his entire team wants to move on from. And now we go to a reporter who made the 10-hour drive down to Louisville. That's Jaron May. Jaron, thank you for joining us here on Orange Press Pass. And I need to start with, a lot happened today. A lot happened for Louisville. Not so much for Syracuse. If there was one person you want to blame on the Syracuse sideline for this loss, who is it?
Well, to be honest with you, Nick, everyone is to blame for this game, and that's what head coach Dino Baber said afterwards. He said they lost in all three phases. Offensively, Garrett Schrader and Sean Tucker just weren't their normal selves. The offensive line wasn't getting a good push. Defensively, the linebackers were biting in every single play fake. The secondary was getting beat over the top. You can't look at one unit this game and say they played decently well. And don't even get me started with that special teams. That was just a pure disaster.
All right, Jaron. Well, first of all, you look a little cold, and I'm sorry because it's pretty toasty here in the CitrusTV studios. But Syracuse, coming off a bye week, was not able to get the job done, and they fell flat on their face. How do you think they're going to be able to get the job done away against a ranked opponent
Well, moving
next week
forward,
against NC State?
You have to get back to normal Syracuse football. And what that means is feed Garrett Schrader, feed Sean Tucker, and get the ball back on the ground, run behind that offensive line, because it's worked all season long. Defensively, what you need to do is play Syracuse defense, and what that means is play tighter than you did today. You were getting beat way too much over the top, giving up way too many big plays on the defensive side of things. Syracuse has proven to be a really good team this season. If they can get back to their normal selves, they'll be fine moving on.
Jared, I feel like everybody was giving up on this Orange team at halftime. I mean, rightly so. They were down almost five touchdowns at halftime. But what about for the team? What was their motto going into second half? Were they down or were they a little bit up, had some momentum, you think?
Well, looking forward, and especially with this game, what Garrett Schrader said afterwards is, he said it's so difficult to come back being down 3 scores to a team like Louisville that just had their number all day long. So when you are mentally checked out, the physical parts aren't going to be there either. So they were pretty much as they wanted to say they were still in this one and wanted to put up a fight, even into the fourth quarter, they were mentally checked out in the second. That means that the entire team was pretty much done in the second quarter today.
Jaron, stay warm down there. Maybe grab some KFC for the drive home. It's going to be a long one. There might be a few KFCs around the area. But coming up after the break, Spencer is mad, and he will tell you why. This Syracuse offense did nothing against the Louisville defense. Plus, someone's got to be blamed, right? Our analysts will discuss that when we come back on Orange Press Pass.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Stuffed. It's not just my mood after Thanksgiving dinner. It's not just the description of an Oreo, however, double stuff is better for all you bozos out there that don't agree with me. It's what Louisville defense did to the Syracuse offense. Louisville, who came into the game ranked 117th out of 130 qualified pass defenses. They limited Garrett Schrader to 46 yards in the air. That's the distance from me to the vending machine. Sean Tucker, let me tell you, who needed 107 yards to become the single-season rushing leader, was held to 95 yards. Now, 95 yards is a lot, but not for a guy that's a human bowling ball and is expected to run for double that every time he steps on the field. Louisville sacked the Orange 4 times and made Garrett Schrader eat dirt all day, and that's unacceptable. And you know what? Not so fast, Orange defense. You're not off the hook either. Malik Cunningham had 5 touchdowns. Syracuse had 3 points, coming off a bye week. I rest my case. Dino at the helm, what say you?
Scoreboard. Scoreboard, was it 14-17 in the first quarter? I can't remember, and then it was climbing after that. And that's how it got away so quickly. I mean, those guys executing, we weren't executing. Third down situations, it got away extremely quick. To answer that one, to me, it's we have to get better. We have to get better in everywhere. Okay, we got to get better in the run game. We have to get better in the throw game. We got to get better.
Welcome back into Orange Press Pass. And guys, I mean, Dino Babers, he gave his team a touchdown. He said 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. His team didn't score a touchdown the entire game. But starting with you, Spencer, what stands out to what Dino had to say after the game?
First of all, the smoke is still blowing out of my ears, and I feel a little bad. But at the same time, I don't know what he means by that, because this is his job to get everyone in check, everyone in order. It's not, we were down there. No. This is your fault, Dino Babers. I'm looking at you right in the eyes. I know you're not looking at me. Maybe he is. I don't really know. But this is your job to get your team in check, and I'm sick and tired of it not happening.
I really agree with you, Spencer. And I think he does have some truth to what he's talking about. They did get down early, and they really could never recover, and that really killed them in the end. I mean, you saw the second half, it was just a snooze fest. There was not many points. There was not much going on. And in the first half, it was just a blowout where Syracuse could really never come back.
Spencer, I need to get the towel, calm you down a little bit, cool you off a bit. But yeah, this offense. Let's talk about the offense, because there are so many different directions where we can blame people on this offense for the struggles, only putting up 3 points, a season low 184 yards as a team. Sean Tucker, the first time since week 2, he hasn't rushed for over 100 yards. So Spencer, who can we blame for this Syracuse loss today against Louisville?
I'm not just blaming one guy. I'm blaming an entire core of people, and those are the wide receivers. Obviously, with Taj Harris being out, guys like Damian Alford and Courtney Jackson, they've stepped up all season. But like I said before, the 117th best defense out of 130 passing defense, you have to get open. Granted, Garrett Schrader only threw the ball 18 times, which we talked about a little bit, but you have to get open against an abysmal defense. And with a guy like Sean Tucker in the backfield who keeps the defense on your toes, it should be even easier for you to get open.
Well, for me, I'm going to have to go with the 5 guys up front. I think that's really where the root of the problem is for Syracuse, and I think they struggled all game. They've struggled a little bit all season. Inconsistency has been a problem, but today it was worse than I've ever seen them probably this season, and so them struggling was a big key to their loss today.
Yeah, Garrett Schrader threw the ball 18 times. Well, so did Malik Cunningham, and he completed 3 more passes than Schrader and almost over 100 yards more. 4 touchdowns. He was great and beat up this Syracuse defense. They had no answers for Cunningham. 4 touchdowns. He rushed for 1. So, Nick, if there's a certain spot to blame on this Syracuse defense, what is it?
I think just like the offensive line, on the defense, it's the defensive line. They didn't pressure the quarterback like they have in past games. In the wins against Virginia Tech and Boston College, you saw guys like Kingsley Jonathan and McKinley Williams getting in there. Where were they today? They were non-existent on this Syracuse defensive line, and that was their problem, I think, on defense.
Well, let me tell you who I like to pick on a lot. Deuce Chestnut. First of all, no one's buying your merch, big man. I'm sorry, but this guy got burnt more than Anakin on Mustafar in Star Wars. His stats today, 2 tackles.
2.
That's it. No. I don't have any other stats for you. 2 tackles against the guy he was guarding, Tyler Harrell, who Chestnut guarded. Like I said, 33-yard touchdown and 92 yards on the day. Just a really pathetic showing.
The defense as a whole was not good for Syracuse. And we talked about the players on the field, on both sides of the ball. But then there's the guys on the sideline who make the decisions. And I'm sure film day is not going to be fun, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, whatever day they look at film. Spencer, is there someone on the coaching staff that you want to blame for this loss? Or is there even anybody?
I like that little lead-in, because my go-to blame is John Doe.
John Doe.
Of the special teams. This team doesn't have a special teams coach, and it shows. They are one of the worst special teams teams in the country. Their average punt yards is 34. My grandma did that, and she's in a wheelchair. Their punt return yards is 11. That is completely unacceptable when you take into account that one of the punt returns was a touchdown to the house, and it's still 11? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to stick with defense on this one. The defensive coordinator, Tony White. Now, the defense has done well this year. They've had lots of good games. Against Clemson, they really slowed them down, although they didn't get the win. But today was, again, similar to the D-line and the O-line and the whole team. It was just the worst performance possible. And I don't think Coach White prepared his guys for what Malik Cunningham and the Louisville offense brought today on this game.
Yeah, Cunningham ripped apart this Syracuse defense. It seemed like every ball he threw 20, 30 yards was ending up in a Louisville hand, and a Syracuse player was laying on the ground because he got absolutely beat. But anyways, after we get back from another break, we're going to talk a bit more about the panic meter. Is it time to panic? It might be, but there's still 2 games left in this season. We'll be right back after the break.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back into Orange Press Pass. Myself, Nick Zelaya, alongside Spencer Pierce and Nick Luttrell. A couple Syracuse players talked after the game about what exactly happened in this 41-3 loss to Louisville. We heard from Garrett Schrader, and we've heard from Marlo Wax. This is what they had to say.
Oh, I mean, we got to be able to throw the ball. Man, it's clear. You know, they loaded the box exactly how we thought they would, and we kept running our plays. But we got to be able to throw the ball and have drop back pass out of different sets, not just out of empty. Because especially they bring 6 pressures, and we just didn't execute today.
I feel like really it was on us. It's just our mistakes, us not scheming right against what they were trying to do. They just did what they wanted to do, and that's where we made mistakes, and we can't let that happen anymore.
Well, I find it interesting that Garrett Schrader said we have to throw the ball better. Last I checked, there's 1 quarterback on the field, and it's you, Mr. Schrader. You need to throw the ball better. Only 46 yards for the sophomore quarterback. Spencer, what do you take from what these 2 guys had to say?
All right, maybe I'm being a little bit too pessimistic today, but what I take away from that is that everyone on both sides of the ball was confused. And where that starts is the coaching. And you know, we could beat this into the ground as much as we want, but as a coach, you can't have your players be confused. Garrett Schrader talked about they stack the box. Okay, so practice stacking the box so your quarterback knows what to do. It doesn't make sense that we go to player sounds and they're talking about being confused when you come off a bye week, Nick Luttrell. What is going on?
You have to be prepared for that. And Marlo Wex says it's on us, but it's not entirely just on his defensive unit. It's on, like I said, Tony White and Sterling Gilbert, the OC, and Dino Babers. Again, it's the coaching that I think led to this loss today. And I think, yeah, that's it, really. Just coaching.
So we're blaming people left and right. We're panicking a bit. And that's actually what we're about to do. Panic meter. It's time to maybe discuss the different topics within this Syracuse football team and see how much we're actually worried. Are we freaking out? And the first one's Garrett Schrader. Like I mentioned, 10 for 18 throwing the ball, 46 yards, 20 carries on the ground for 43 yards. Not his best day in an orange uniform. And when he's not performing, the wide receivers can't perform. It's a whole mess. Spencer, how much are you panicking about Garrett Schrader right now?
Okay, well, I've calmed down a little bit, and I want to apologize to anyone I offended. That being said, I am on a 2 out of 5 for panicking on Garrett Schrader. I believe what he did today was better than anything Tommy DeVito could have done. And maybe that's just a personal hatred I have for the guy, and I'm sorry, but I really don't know how worried I am about him. Like I talked about the wide receivers, they just quite simply weren't getting open today. And, maybe it's that, maybe it's the times that Schrader, like you just see there, the ball went over his head, the ball went left, right, center. It was just a mess, and I really don't put any of this loss on him.
Yeah, I agree with you, Spencer. I think I'm giving it a 1 out of 5 on the meter. And the O-line didn't give him any favors. As you saw, the terrible snap there, the blocking was not good, as we talked about. And I really think, again, back to the coaching, OC Sterling Gilbert needs to call better plays for Garrett Schrader to get him outside the pocket, do a bootleg, have him run outside the pocket and throw the ball, because that's really his specialty. Or if he doesn't throw the ball, run the ball. Some more designed runs for Schrader, because that's his specialty. That's what he did so well at Mississippi State, and that's what he can do well here if he's given the chance.
You're absolutely right, Nick. This is exactly how Garrett Schrader's put up the dominant numbers a couple weeks ago. 5 touchdowns. He has the potential to do that, but there are his weapons on the sides as well, to his right, to his left, that he needs to get a bit involved with. I mean, you look at the receivers today. Courtney Jackson, a catch for no yards. Damian Alford, 2 catches for 17 yards. Anthony Quealy, 2 catches for 9 yards. The receivers really weren't able to do anything. So, Nick, how much are you panicking about the pass catchers that Garrett Schrader has around him on this offense?
Nick, I'm not panicking too much. I'm slightly concerned. That's why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. But I think this is my biggest concern. There's no number 1 guy. Remember earlier in the season, there was a guy named Taj Harris. He's no longer with the program. He's going to transfer. But nobody has filled the role that Harris has left. And I think that's who, I don't know if Schrader needs to find that person, or if the wide receiver coach needs to step up and give more leadership to somebody, or one of the wide receivers needs to step up. But I don't know who's going to be. Damian Alford, Anthony Quealy, Courtney Jackson, maybe a tight end. Somebody has to step up and be that number 1 guy for Syracuse, Spencer.
And Nick, I completely agree with you. I'm going to go with a 3 out of 5 too. And what you say is that there's no number 1 receiver, but I think in this case you take quality over quantity. You have 3 guys that are good enough to get the ball down the field. So do that. And to go to my last point, Sean Tucker is a guy that will keep defenses on their heels all day. And there's nothing that any of the pass catchers have to do special other than get open. Quite literally do your job, and the rest will take care of itself. You'll get the ball thrown to you.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Tucker only caught 1 pass. We talked about how unproductive he was running the ball. He's usually a pass catcher in the backfield, and he just wasn't that today. 1 catch for 9 yards. But now it's time to talk about the coaches. And Nick, I know this is sensitive topic for you. We talked about the special teams first name, last name coach earlier on. We talked about the defensive coordinator, Tony White, but now it's Dino Babers. And Spencer, when it comes to the head man himself, how much are you panicking about Dino Babers right now?
Okay, well, I think you may be expecting a 5 from me. I'm giving it a 1.
A
Call me unpredictable, but you look at the contract extension that he signed, and there is almost no way that this guy is leaving town, especially after this season where he wins 5 games in a season where they were supposed to win maybe 2, 1 being against Ohio, a really, really bad team. He did his job this year, and there's no way that if he was to do his job maybe a little bit better, and we're looking at a 7-win, 8-win Syracuse team, then there's absolutely no way that he's leaving town. So I'm still on a 1.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you, but we have similar points here. I've pretty much been the same all year. I'm 5 out of 5 for Dino Babers. And even when the Orange have won games against Boston College and Virginia Tech, coaching has still been an issue. The only thing, like you said, the only thing that's keeping me, I'm doing a 4. I don't know why I thought it was a 5. I got too amped up there.
I
was talking about coaching, I got too
amped
up. I'm doing a 4 here, okay? The only thing keeping me from a 5 is, like you said, the buyout and that contract extension for Dino Babers coming up soon. So he's not going to get fired. I'm pretty confident he's going to be the coach here next season, unfortunately.
Mixed feelings for Coach Babers, absolutely. And you saw that career record in his 6 seasons. Different record than what Yes Network had on their graphic today. But the final topic we want to panic a little bit about is a bowl game. Of course, we've got 2 games left, 2 ranked opponents in NC State and Pittsburgh to finish up the season for Syracuse. Do they get it done? How much are we panicking about the fact that Syracuse might not make a bowl game? Nick, starting with you.
Here it is. This is my 5 right here.
Nice.
There is no chance that Syracuse makes a bowl game. After today's performance, and then like you said, Nick, going into the next 2 weeks against two teams that are in the top 25, two of the best teams in the ACC, there's just no way. No way.
I'm going to give them a little bit of a way. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Okay, so they're going on the road next week against a ranked NC State team. It's not looking too good, but there's a chance. And then when they come home, I'm talking myself out of this now. When you come home and face the best quarterback in the conference, they can maybe make some magic happen. I mean, maybe I'll change mine to a 4.9. I don't really know what to do, but I want to give them a little bit of a chance solely because they have pulled off a few games that we didn't think they could pull off, Nick.
Yeah. Going back to that Liberty game is the big one that we go back and see, oh, Syracuse probably not going to win this one. They end up winning 24-21. 5-5 right now. They need one more win to make that bowl game. But coming up after the break, we'll wrap up Orange Press Pass, taking a look around the ACC, what's happening in the conference. Plus, Spencer and Nick will give their final thoughts on this loss to Louisville. We'll be right back.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver. The one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Welcome back into Orange Press Pass. Nick Zelaya here with Spencer Pierce and Nick Luttrell. Syracuse falls to Louisville 41-3 this afternoon, but let's take a look at what's going on around the Atlantic Coast Conference. A couple key matchups. Spencer, what stands out to you?
Well, I think you got to go to the Boston College, Georgia Tech rather. Boston College was a team that was really not impressive when they played Syracuse, and they're putting a really good fight up. I also want to give credit to UConn.
Go Connecticut. Go Connecticut.
Who only lost by 37 to a team that Syracuse lost to.
Well, I think NC State and Wake Forest is the game to look at for most ACC fans, but the one I'm going to look at is Notre Dame and Virginia. This is a Cavaliers team that has won 4 straight ACC games. They could pull the upset tonight.
And taking a look at next week for Syracuse, a ranked matchup, NC State. Nick, what do you say with this matchup?
2 words, no hope. And that's just going the rest of the season. There's no hope for this Syracuse team. There's no hope for this game against NC State. Spencer?
I'm going to go 5 words, a little bit of hope, for the exact same reasons that you just gave. I think there's a slight chance, and I don't want to be a pessimist for the entire 30-minute show.
Spencer, I want to go real quick with you and Nick. What are your guys' final thoughts on today's loss to the Louisville Cardinals?
Okay, I'm back to being a pessimist. Buddy Boeheim, Joe Girard, and all the rest of the basketball team will bring on to greatness this year, and it's basketball season, baby.
I love that, Spencer. I'm kind of with you. I'm saying the season is over. It's hopeless. That's kind of been my attitude the rest of this entire show. But basketball coming up. Exciting basketball.
I mean, guys, there's 2 football games left.
No, there's not.
Why are we losing hope on this? The team's 1 win away from a bowl game. Well, we'll talk about it later on after the show. Anyways, that will wrap up Orange Press Pass here in the CitrusTV studios. Nick Zelaya here with Spencer Pierce and Nick Luttrell. You can follow us across social media platforms at CitrusTV Sports. It's the last football show. Basketball season is upon us. Have a great Thanksgiving, and have a good night, everyone.